All right. I think it's just coming up. There we go. And let me click this one. There we go. Hello, guys. Merry Christmas. How are you? I hope everyone's had a great Christmas. We had a very quiet Christmas. Our family's not been feeling good this time, so we'll get together in January. That's the way it goes sometimes. So we're going to be taking 11 by 14. I think it's 11 by 14. Oh my gosh, I didn't, you know what? I think it's that. Let me check this one again. Yes, 11 by 14. I had it right. And we're going to paint it blue, a spring blue. Now I'm getting ready for some spring sales, and this is one that I've done many of, but not this size. We're only going to do a portion of it, but we're going to do it the same way. Not everyone wants this huge picture of cherry blossoms, but it's beautiful. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shake up my paint a little bit, not a lot, just kind of like getting it off the bottom and remixing. And I'm just going to take that off for a little bit. And we're just going to paint it on here. We might use a big brush. And then we'll dry it, of course. I'll just use my big brush. And I am going to do the edges and, you know, all that stuff as well. Now this isn't quite the spackling yet. We're going to do the spackle on top of this. So. And this is just prepping my board. Like so. Now friends, I love spackling just as much as I love chalk couture. I find challenges in both, and I find it both exciting because sometimes it flops. I'm sure it's operator error, but I would be lying if I didn't say I do mistakes. Now we're going to take a little bit of white on it, not a lot, very minimal actually. I want my brush marks to go the same direction, so that's what I'm trying to get at. I've got plenty of paint. Don't need lots of anything on this. This is a very, well, I won't say it's easy, but we certainly want it to be not just so. It's not going to be hard, but it's not easy either. It's kind of like the in-between. You have to take your time, and you have to really make sure okay, so it's nice and blue, except for I just put my thumb. I'm just checking. So we're going to just set that there. I'm just going to grab my paper towels. Now, this is something I very much enjoy, and I'm going to wipe my hands off. I'm going to let it just kind of dry before I put some white on it. And we're not going to use a lot of white. I got myself so full of blue already. Isn't that crazy? I can't stay clean for nothing. And this was just chalk acrylic paint from Apple Barrel, I believe. My holding hand gets the dirtiest. I think it's hilarious. You don't want any of this extra blue on my picture. Forgot I had my water there. Say hello if you're here. That would be awesome. I'd like to know who's here. And if you're new for the first time, please push like if you like what I'm doing. I'm sure you don't like me washing my hands in front of you, but I did an awesome job getting myself dirty. That happens around here. All right, let me, that's all the blue we're going to need. I don't think there's anything on that one. All right. Now, we're going to use very little. In fact, all I'm going to do is tip it over and tip it up. Hopefully I got just plenty, just the capful. Now, I'm not going to dry it because we're going to blend it. And I'll wipe out the mat. Now we're going to blend it into looking cloudish, but not over. Now remember, our spackling will be going over this, so. Oh, excuse me. Probably going to have a sneezing attack. That's what I do best. I'm just going to wipe out this blue because I don't want that in my white. Let me just spread this around just a little bit more. It's really heavy at the top here, so we're going to kind of try to spread it down. Even take some off. Just want a lightly blue and a light white. So let me show you in just a little bit. I think we got it here. Taking out all those heavy white streaks. Just light. Now if you've never spackled before, it's a very interesting item. Cleaning out my brush over here in my water. Alright, so now we're going to dry it. It will look like this. See how it's more whiter up here and lighter blue down there. However, it's not going to be, it's just the undercoat. Alright, so let's dry that up. Get myself all tangled up here. So we're going to be using some paints, as you saw, very little, but plenty. We're going to be using some spackling that we're going to color with brown, gold, blue, yellow, And we're going to be using some chocolate paints with that, and maybe acrylic paint. We might have to mix to get the colors I like. Now you want this really dry. So it's going to take a second. And I wish everybody had a great Christmas. And you know what? You didn't even have to be with anybody. You could just done by yourself and enjoy the extra time to relax. You know, some people feel they have to be with hundreds and hundreds of people. That's great. But sometimes just being relaxing at your home or wherever you're at can be something maybe the Lord wanted you to have. He likes us to take breaks and honor Him. So I hope that's what you got to do too. We'll be turning this around in just a second. My cord, as you can see, is all tangled up. That's why I'm holding it back so it doesn't hit the canvas. And I go until I don't see any sparkling anywhere on my canvas. It does make me sneeze, so. Oh, I see some. So now I'm just kind of like poofing it up a little bit. Just some areas that I see and drying it. And I like to turn it because, you know, your hands keep going in the same spot. So I turn it, that way I know everything gets dry. It's looking rather beautiful. And then I dry from underneath as well. And that's because it goes into your canvas. It's looking good. So I take it on the back and I heat dry the back. Now don't get too close. You don't want it to spray out the fuzz and the dust and all that. And now we'll let it cool for just a little bit. Just kind of making sure it's all dry. Feels good. Now, unlike Chocateur, we're not going to wax this. Now, I think I have it upside down. There we go. Now, this is going to be my top. As you can see, it has a little bit more cloudier than what is down at the bottom. So it's nice. So I'm going to turn it towards me, and I hope you all will be able to see. And I'm going to move my stuff or it doesn't get in there in my way. I'm trying to keep you centered so you can see. I'm going to slide you back just a bit. Maybe that will be better. There. Now you'll be able to see the whole thing. Only thing is you won't be unless I can get it to tilt up, which I don't know if I can do it that way. Oh, I bet I brought those upstairs. I thought I had my tilt stand, but I think I brought those upstairs. Sorry. We'll just go with what we have. So now your canvas is all dry and ready to go. Super cool. I wish I could hold it up. What do I have? Well, let me just look around here. Do I have my computer stand here? I don't. Darn. I wonder if I could stick my... Is that any better? Maybe that might help you. It's a little higher. You'll be able to see more. That's what I'm thinking. All right. So we're going to set our transfer on here. Sorry, it's not a transfer. It is a stencil. And the difference between a transfer and a stencil is a stencil you can, let me find a spot, you can stick your finger through, where a transfer you cannot. And I want most of my birds on here. I think I want all, there's 4 birds. So we're going to arrange it so all 4 birds are on here. And I have to, oh, because I have to tip this way. All right. We can tip it this way. We want all 4 birds because that's going to be my accent. There we go. Pull it up just a bit. Now, as you can see, my stencil is at an angle. But my birds will be more straight. And we're going to tape that. Now, when you use a transfer, or not a transfer, sorry, I got transfers on my mind, stencil, you're going to want to tape it down the best you can. Now I'm going to be taping from underneath, and I'm going to take like so, because you don't want this to lift when you're putting down the spackling. You want it to stay as tight as possible. And since this is a smaller stencil, gosh, I kept doing this again, you really want to make sure you have it taped so it can stay down. Now I'll show you just in a moment how that will look. I just want to make sure I get it pretty well taped around the underneath here. There won't be any tape on the top. And you're basically putting it on your stencil and then connecting it to the back of your canvas. I'm going to put another one right here because we don't want that bird. And this will, now it's going to not be as tight as a transfer. And you don't want to use any like glues or quick tick tack or whatever it's called. You don't want to use any of that. That will just peel off your paint and then you'll have to restart it. Or throw it away. I've done both. And this doesn't guarantee it won't move. This is just helps keep it in place. But it can move. You don't want it to, but it might. Now you don't have to worry about off the edge. You don't have to worry about that. Just where you're going to be using some spackling, that area that lifts, you want that to be on the edge. You want that down as tight as you can. Now I've used this stencil about, I'm going to say about 55 times, and it's kind of wore out. It's getting wore out. And I haven't been able to find a replacement. That's another bummer of some transfers and stencils. They go out of stock, or they go out of what I call out of area, where they discontinue them. This is the blue tape. This is the tape that's easy to remove. Usually doesn't wreck your transfer or your picture, your stencil. Now this is a big side here, so I am going to make sure this whole thing here is kind of a large piece there to hold it. So I'm using a lot, but yet not too much. And if you're one of those those kind of people that panic when something moves, what I suggest is that you really take your time. Don't OCD it. It's so easy to OCD when you're spackling. I always tell people, just let it happen. Whatever's going to be, let it happen. It's not going to destroy it. Just gotta make sure, let's see, this side's up, so I have to redo this corner. It's better. All right, so my stencil is a little bit high. Now I'm going to take little bits and roll it up like so. It's like in a tube. And I'm going to just take little bits like so. And I'm going to put it under anything that's sticking up. If it lifts, see how that lifts? We're going to stick a little piece underneath it to help keep it down. And that's away from the spot that you're going to spackle. So you want it to stay as flat. Now this piece here has actually been mended with tape, and again, I'm just going to roll it. Doesn't have to be a perfect roll. And I got to make sure that corner stays down, because that's where it's really broken. I've used it too many times. Don't want to mess up our beautiful picture. That might be all right. Just checking to see I got like a high peak here. I can lift it too high. Same as there. It came untaped. It's kind of nice about these blue tape. It's that in there. There we go. Stick. All right. So let me show you the back. So what we did is we taped the back pretty well around the edge so it's not going to move. If you feel it's going to move on you, put some more tape down. All right. This side is pretty tight and this side is kind of loose. Now on this side, the front side, this is where we're going to spackle, and as you can see, I got the little tapes on areas that it has been broken, and we're hoping we can use it a few more times before I find another one. I don't want to retire this one. I love this one. Of all of my transfers and my spackling, I love this one the most. I don't know why, but you fall in love with your stuff. So let's mix our transfer colors that we're going to use. I'm going to be using little cups, like so. My tools vary, but generally, when I spackle, it's between popsicle sticks and little ice cream wafer thingies. And we're going to probably use the wafers. All right, so let's set these aside so I have room to work. Let me put my paint in get that brush out of the way. So once we get it all spackled, you're going to want it to dry, and then you'll be adding on some flowers. Now this might be a 2-day process. It's not a very large process, but some. All right, I need a little stick. My stir sticks all disappeared. I threw them away. My fault. Here's one. These are some of my spackle sticks. And I just use craft sticks. Craft sticks and ice cream for spackling. Not like my chalk couture where I would be using something like this. Though that would work just fine as well. So now we're going to add some of our chalk couture in here. We're going to sparkle it up just a bit. We're using some color bark. And you're not going to need a lot. I'm going to stir it up, make sure it's plenty creamy. We're going to mix the colors. We're going to mix the chalk and some sparkle. And probably I'll use 3 big scoops because I want to make sure I have enough. And this is going to cover the, and we're going to also add spackling. We're going to add some sparkle to this. But we want it brown and we want it sparkling. And that's all I'm going to use. So far this is my mix. There you go. I'm going to just mix this up quickly together. And then we'll add the spackling. Now the glitter is going to show up more once it's dry. not so much when it's wet. I'm going to move our picture for just a moment. And I'm going to put my sheet on. I just don't want to wreck my box. I can be messy, guys. Now, when you work with spackling, any kind of spackling, you do not, hi Wayne, thanks for coming on. You don't want to put it down your drain. Spackling and the drain don't go together. I didn't want to get this one in there. So we're mixing our colors. Just going to set that there, and I'm going to just use my stir stick. And I'm just going to mix that up for it's all spackled brown with the gold. So it's bark, chalk couture, and it has gold acrylic paint in it, and it comes to where it's sticky. See, that's your chemical reaction from the acrylic and the spackling. I don't think the chalk would be much of a area. Okay, so that one's all ready to go. Now we're going to also use some green. So let me get some spackle in here. I thought I had more than what I had. I think we better do 3 scoops. Yeah, I think that should be maybe 4. It's hard to go back and remix to have it match. If it hits the table like that, I don't reuse it. That one's good. And let's see, I think we'll use the we're going to use the meadow green. We want it to be more springish. I was going to use the forest green, but I thought that might be see, I usually use this color green. It's kind of an olive green. And I'm just going to take two scoops and mix that in. See what color it comes to. Now I'm mixing my colors ahead, so I don't have to remix it. And I love spackling, guys. I could do this all day long. Look how pretty that is. Beautiful meadow. So I got my green. Then we want, let's see, green, brown, or bark. We're going to mix up some bumblebee yellow. We already did the blue, so that's going to be really pretty. So this is going to go with the bird, and so will the brown, the bark. I don't know why my spackling is runny. That's usually unusual. This cup has a hole in it. No, it don't. It has paint on it. Where did that come from? fix that mess. Sorry. Maybe another scoop. And another stir stick here. And again, I'm going to just take, I think one of these should be good. Let's mix that up and see what it looks like. Sometimes when you mix yellow and white together, you get a little lighter. Merry Christmas. You get a little bit lighter color. I hope you guys don't mind me being on. We didn't have Christmas, so I've been just hanging around and doing stuff. I've been writing on my book and doing all sorts of things like that and relaxing. And my ex-husband came over today and brought us ham dinner, which was delicious. That was very nice. Okay, so I think we got our colors and we're ready to spackle. Now that didn't take us too long. Now remember, our canvas is this color. So I'm going to just move these over. We're going to start with the brown first, or the bark. And I'm going to just cover this up. I got plenty more where I can do maybe one more picture. Then I'll have to go buy another one. And I get this at Ace Hardware for, I think it was like $10, $15. I don't know. Doesn't have a price on it now. Probably did when I got it. Now, like I said, I use the small ones and I use the large sticks. I'm seeing the bottom here didn't get stirred. You want that to be like super perfectly mixed so you don't have white going into your leaves, so that would be fine. And then my cherry blossoms I use are just these cherry blossoms here that will make it a 3D, and we cut these out, and we add white beads inside or crystal light beads. I have to see what I have. I put my beads somewhere. Okay, picture. So here we go. Well, I guess I have to move these over here. We're going to start with the bark because the bark has the chemical reacting in it to make it, oh yeah, that made it sturdy. Making sure my areas, now see this area is kind of lifting. So let's just, before we start, let's just add another tiny piece. This is a very old stencil. And it has character. I have other words for that character word, but so I'm rolling it up, and then we'll break off a piece and stick it under that birdie. Again, you got to make sure that nothing, if it lifts, it's going to mess up. So you got to be like really careful when you spackle. I don't know how many people actually spackle anymore, but I think we'll be okay there. All right. So I'm just gonna, this is nice and ready to go. It's set up, so now it's like perfect. It's like, I like it a little runnier than that, but it will be fine. I like to start from the top and I come towards me. It's just a little easier. You're gonna find your board. the stick is not working. Now once I get everything on, I like to, it's a little bit getting runny now. So I'm just kind of like painting it on. Don't worry about if you get it on the transfer or your stencil. Just try to keep it in the groove of where you want it to be. And I might do the birds yellow and black. Might make a black one here. Just a little bit. Now you want it to be high rise, so you know, don't put it too thin. Cover it up. Because the brown, the bark is going to have I forgot about the little twigs. Now you're able to scoop it off of some of it, so just be aware of that. But the birds, the brown might be too much brown in on your bird with the brown that's on the transfer. I'm sorry, stencil. Really messed up tonight. Typical. You want to fill your stencil up with a little green going in that, or brown in there. And it will look like a real mess. So don't let that bother you. And I do the bark first, or the branches first, because it helps hold down my old stencil here. And I don't do it heavily. I don't want this to be heavy right now. We're just basically painting a picture with spackling. Pretty much. You see how I'm just lightly putting it on here. We don't mind you being on this time. Great. Thank you, Wayne. I was getting bored. And then Facebook came on. You know how they send you your messages and stuff. Told me I hadn't been on for a day. And I'm like, well, fine, I can jump on. And then I got thinking, oh gosh, it's Christmas. But I was bored. You only can write so long, and then your brain shuts down anyway. So I needed a break. And see how nice this little spoon is for just kind of like putting it on. Kind of reminds me of putting on cheese on a special cracker. show you this in just a moment. We're kind of done with the top half. And then once you get your whole thing painted and you lift it off, hopefully it turns out beautifully. Sometimes I screw up. It doesn't look so great. You'll have to let it dry for at least 24 hours before you do a whole lot of other items to it. Wayne, have you ever spackled? When we have my event, I'm hoping in June, we're going to do some spackling in that event. Missed a spot. Okay, now we're on the bottom. Oh, there's 2 leaves here. Now you will be able to sand a little bit of this tomorrow if you have to. I usually don't have to. Some people don't like the roughness of spackling. This is where that tape is, so this one might need a little extra loving. Sometimes that happens. Whoops. Got a little bit on my birdie. My birdie's going to have a brown belly. And like I say, I just put it on where I cover up the edge. I did have some other tools that I liked better than my sticks, but sticks work just as well. See how it's lifting? That's what you don't want it to do. So just basically smearing it on. So that's looking good. Now I'm going back and I'm scraping off all the heavy mess. And this has had time to set. So now I can just kind of go back. Scrape it off. And if it comes off, just put it back on. That means it's not ready. And I'll let the rest set. Okay, that's looking great. Let me show you that. And I don't save my sticks, guys. Oh, I missed two little spots, but we can do those with green. So that's what my tree is going to look like so far. We're not going to lift it up until it's completely done. Now we're going to use our green. On the leaves. I'm going to take this one out. We're going to use a small one. And do those nice little leaves. You get these on Amazon, guys. You have to buy quite a bit. You also can get them in Oriental Trading. That's usually where I buy mine. And again, you're just going to put it on over. Don't be scared to use your spackle. It's okay if your stencil gets full of just make sure you're getting it into where you need it to be. And when I do a picture like this, I don't do it very high. Not like I did on those other, I sold them. Never mind. I was going to show you. So I just basically go to the height of my stencil, no higher. And I started at the bottom, which is going to make it harder for me. I blooped. Now, because I'm putting this on a thinner level, it will probably dry fairly fast. But I still wouldn't more on my tip. I still don't want to like add my hot glues and my flowers, probably not until tomorrow. See, now I'm getting it all over me. So I started on the bottom. That's why I start from the top and go down. But it will be fine. And it's okay if it touches the branches. Perfectly fine. It does turn out pretty, guys. It really does. Trust the process. Just don't let it bounce. That's when it goes underneath and wrecks it. Hi, Emma. How are you? We're doing some spackling here. Have you ever spackled? And I do get a little bit too much green there, so I'm going to try to wipe off some of that green off my brown. My brown is already settled because of it being a chemical reaction with what we used. Try not to hit my birdie. I have to do it right-handed. I spackle with my right, but I'm really left-handed. It's going to look awful here, and I'll show you after I get all these leaves covered that it doesn't look pretty, because the prettiness is underneath. Hi Trisha Ann. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of you. Now this is 11 by 14. Normally I do the full-size stencil. That's why I got a little close. Now this side did not get taped down as much, so we're just going to try to sneak it in with it just holding itself. I'm holding my breath, guys. I always do when I spackle, because I can see it bounce and I'm like, oh no, it's going to mess it up. But if it messes up, you put a flower on it. Or something. Now I know this has nothing to do with the new year, guys. I just was in the mood to spackle. I'm going to turn it just a little bit towards me so I can reach a little better. Don't take my shoulder out. Just fixed up. I hit it too hard. The bark is already starting to set. Looking pretty. Again, I have to turn it a little bit towards me so I can reach. And I'm going just to the height of my stencil. Trying not to leave too much or too less. Now, if you have decided you want to do this and you mix your spackling with your paint like I did tonight, some people don't do that. Some people spackle it white or whatever color spackle you buy. You also can buy a pink. I add my paint because I want it fully colored. Life's about color to me. Thanks for sprinkling. Hey friends, we are growing. I don't know if I'll hit my goal of 3,000 by the end of the month. That is my goal. I told you I wanted 3,000 by the end of the year. We got a couple days to do that. We need, sounds like a milestone, doesn't it? We need 400 more people. I think we can do that by sprinkling me out. So please do that. Sprinkle me to your family and friends. They might want to have a new craft coach. And I'm just getting this almost done with the green, and then we're going to do our bird. Now I have to get some black out because I didn't think about that one. Okay, this is looking like, I think, fantastic. Now I saved this for just a little while. So as you see, it doesn't look like a whole lot there, but it will. It'll be beautiful when we're done. So I'm going to get some black. I think I have black around here. You could use chalk. I got a little glass black. And I need another cup. I can't even peek. Alright, so this is a glass black enamel. You don't need a lot of black. We're just going to use some. I'm going to put my spackling. And I'll be real honest, guys. I have no place. When you go to wash these off at the end of the night, or end of the time that you're using it, and you go wash this off, like I said, don't put it in your sink, and don't keep any of your sticks because they won't be good. You gotta remix this up. Now we're not gonna need a lot. We only have 4 little birds, so 1 little scoop like so should be perfect. And And this should have a little bit of a chemical reaction. I want it more black than I do gray, so I might have to add, well, I think it'll be all right. That does happen. Sometimes you have to mix it until the paint is like really mixed into the spackling to have it work. So it's black, it's just a little bit lighter. Now his wing, and I'm going to do the tip of his tail black and the top of his head. Now I can hold my breath. But you can't really fix it once you do it. And I'm going to do all my birds the same. Oh, he's even smaller, goodness. And again, the tip of his head. Oop, that globbled on me. A globble means it slid like into a puddle. And one more birdie. I think that's going to be okay. That tail is like right. We will be able to see this in about 3 minutes, maybe 4. There we go. Ooh. Gets me excited and nervous all at the same time. Okay, so now this is with the black. See, you'll be able to see the birds, and now the birds are going to have a yellow belly. Let me put the cover back on this. And I'm going to use a little stick instead. I'll put him safe. Seriously, where did I put him? We'll use a little briquette. I just had him. I'll use a little brisket. It will work. Now don't forget to breathe for me, guys. This brisket's too fat. Put them in a safe spot. There they are. Sorry. Might be 5 minutes now. And don't put your paste away until you know that you have your bird or your whole picture done. Don't throw nothing away. You might have to go back and touch up. Much easier. And totally holding my breath. I want my birdies to be pretty. Trying to keep it out of the black. We might have to sand it tomorrow. We'll see. This one will have a little black in it. I had to hit it. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when you get done spackling. It looks so beautiful, right? Now I'm slowly going to take off these little tapes that held it on. Try not to get it to bounce. And like I said, sometimes you have to go back and touch up because spackling does like to run, especially when you mix it in with paint. But I think we're okay, mostly. I think I do have a few bloopers, but nothing that we have to so much worry about. And I'm taking it off the canvas as well. And with it being nice and warm down here again, Yay, yay. My paints have unthawed. Isn't that great? I'm hoping it's going to be beautiful, Emma. I hope so. I've never tried to make a bad craft, but I have bloopers. Just a sec. No doubt. I have bloopers and practical jokes. If you look through some of my stuff, I think the best one is when the whole thing of Mod Podge spilled all over my craft, all over my table. I don't even know what happened that day. Now we have to remember that inside we have those little extra blue tapes that we put in at the beginning. So all right. I'm just going to move my phones and my tape. This is 11 by 14. The regular stencil itself is 18 by 24 or something like that. Okay. Oh, she's gorgeous. Alright, let me pull off these little blue stickums. Most of them came off. And it looks like so. Can you see it? Oh, sorry, going the wrong way. And then let me pull it up. This way. That is what it's going to look like. Now, we do have some bloopers, and I'm going to see if I can I don't want to scrape off a lot, but I just want to, when it's wet, you can go in. What? A wipe? Oh, I'm out of wipes. Just one little wipe. Squeeze out as much of the water as you can. Grab another paper towel and squeeze out as much of that water as you can, or bleach, or whatever you might have. You don't want it too wet. In fact, you probably can just use your little rag. And then you can just go in and clean off some of your canvas if you need to. I don't see a whole lot other than this one bird. He really got messed up. This birdie got messed up, so we're going to try to fix him. And we're just going to add, just give him a bigger belly. going to have a little browner bird legs. Now this one over here somehow hit. It's going to have to dry. So that is looking pretty sweet, guys. Now once it's all dry, we will be able to go back and touch up anything that is, I don't want this to be high-rised. This little birdie had a problem. It's where it bounced on me. But all in all, it came out pretty good. Now this will dry for 24 hours before I add any flowers or touch-ups. Everything I think here is actually pretty good. Pretty nice. I love it. Thank you for sprinkling. I don't know, let's see. Don't see anything that I'd really want to change. Maybe I could add a little of the bark on this one little branch. I'm just going to add a little branch coming out here. Now that will all dry the same color. I'm going to connect this branch. And I'm going to fix up some of these branches before they connect. And like I said, tomorrow we may have to do a little bit of sanding. I don't think we'll have to do a whole lot. But you try to make it as natural looking as you can. This is a nature picture, so you want it as natural looking as you can. Now you can add extra glob here. I have to add a little blue paint in that one spot. So this is looking pretty good. Now I'm going to take this little wet rag, right in the center here, I blobbed I'm gonna see if I can just kind of like scrape it into looking like a branch. And it seemed to work. Super cute. I love it. This one here has a little bit of leaf looking funny. But I can nitpick all night long, but that's what it's going to look like. It's very pretty. And then once it's all dry, tomorrow, we will add on our little flowers. They'll go right on, just like so, all the way around, and make it a nice spring picture. And with these nice little cherry blossoms, that's what I call this, is my cherry blossom spackle. I charge $45 for this kind of spackling. So if you'd like one, and you just put in cherry blossom, that will be what this will be called. It'll be $45, and it'll take me a good week, so I have to have time to make them. It's not an overnight project. It takes a couple days, but it's super sweet, beautiful. I love it. It'll be much prettier tomorrow. And like I said, we might have to do some touch up with some paints and stuff, but we can just use regular paints, and we won't need the spackling for that. So these are done, because I don't reuse them. They'll be dry by tomorrow morning. Well, guys, I hope you had fun with this. I know it's quite early for spring, but these take a longer time to dry and cure and all that kind of stuff. And they're $45, and then shipping and handling. And if you want one that's the full size of my transfer, I gotta put that somewhere safe. Now you want it to sit when it's drying. You don't want it being covered. You want it to be up. You want to put like, where are my paints? My little paints I just had. Oh, I keep these little containers. And my friend just brought me some more, so that's why I have them. And you can't really see the spackling, the gold. It's not showing up right now. And I can see a little, but it's not as much as I would like. But you just take like 4 of these. I'm going to remove, well, I'm going to keep my mat here. Put that back. I'm going to put them right on the corners, because I want it to dry from inside and outside. So that looks, oh, we got to move you up a little bit. So you're high-rising it. And I usually use just the corners. So there's no, it will just hold itself. Got a little bubble there. Ooh. Ah, good thing I saw that. All in all, I think it's going to be beautiful. So this is how it dries. It's on a pedestal. I got my 4 little containers. They sit on all 4 corners off of my scissors. And it will dry like this until tomorrow. But I wanted to show you how to, you just going to use soap and water basically. So I'm going to just move this aside for just a little bit. Don't fall. Can y'all see it? Remember that blue brush we used at the very beginning? I'm getting the paint out of it right now. Hope y'all can see. And I'm just going to use my brush. I'm just putting water on it. You got to be very careful not to, move it up a little bit, not to lift off your stencil. So when you clean it, none of this is going to go in my sink. So I'm just getting water on so it can loosen it up a little bit. That's why I have a tarp down on my table, because I do a lot of spackling. It kind of protects my table. Though I got a couple holes in this now, so. Okay. So now I'm going to just simply take my brush and just kind of rubbing off. It's a lot different than cleaning a transfer. We're driving until tomorrow. Oh yeah, well you guys got like a party full of snow again. Snow and wind drifts and you know, I really think you should come to Minnesota and live. I don't get all that stuff. In fact, this is the most snow we've had in years. About 10 years. So as you see, I'm just wetting it and I'm just squeezing my brush and wiping it off with, now this is my spackling brush, guys. It's just a 2-inch brush. It works well. I used to have a mustache brush, but I don't know what I did with that thing. That works well as well. One of those ones that you would see, I'm being very careful on those lift areas because you don't want that to lift up. And I'm just brushing it off for its mobile. Good shoulder exercise, guys. My shoulders hurt tonight. I hurt all day today, but I don't know why. My old age. So there is no canvas underneath this, guys. This is the cleanup. If you're just jumping on, this is just cleanup. And this is all spackling and paint. So now I got most of it loosened up where I can take some paper towels now and wipe it off. Making sure it doesn't lift. And usually on stencils, this is where a lot of people, especially on the big ones, wreck their stencils. Ooh, I got napkins, that's good. So now I'm just gonna pat it and squeak it off. Now you're gonna have to do the other side as well because it goes underneath. This is a lot more work than a transfer from Chalk Couture. Really is. Chalk Couture I can do by my, in minutes. This takes time. Because now we got it. Oh, I got the tape on there too. Got the tape on the back. And this is already dried up, so I'm going to spray it. Excuse me. So you have a driving ban till tomorrow. What changes tomorrow for you? I don't even think you guys can drive. You guys have so much snow, Trisha. And you do go through paper towels. Lots of them. So now we got this side wiped off, but we got to flip it because a lot of it went underneath. I'm going to set it down here for a second, and I'm going to wipe this off because you're going to flip it. And when you flip it, you don't want to put it right back in the dirt or this mess because then it will be, of course, more dirtier. See, it just gets all over, guys. It just magically happens. And we're going to do that same process again. I have to grab some more paper towels. Recycling company loves me. And I'm going to spray it as well. It's almost out of water. Do exactly the same thing. Now this side does have tape, so let's take that tape off so we don't have to more tape there. Oh, yeah. All right, so let's wipe this off. Sounds crazy. You have to wipe it on, wipe it off, wipe it on, wipe it off. Sounds like a show I know. One of the few shows I've ever watched. I was going to watch some Christmas shows tonight, but they're all reruns. We don't have cable TV or anything like that. And I'm not going to pay Hulu and all those. So we just have whatever comes on. We have digital analog, I guess it's called, or something. I only have TV because my brother's here. I'm pushing down to make sure it doesn't lift in those special spots that are very tender. This takes a lot longer to get it clean than Chocolate ever did. See, I did have another blue. Now, if you have a big tub, not a bathtub, you know, a Tupperware tub type thing, tote tub, you could soak it in water and do it that way as well. But you're going to have to get rid of that water, and it can't go down the drain because it will plug your drain. Just put some brown here. You want to get it all off. It gets faster and faster as you go, but it does take more time. I saw a lot of these pictures, guys. Let's put this off again. Let's see, it's getting there. It's cleaner. Now I don't have very many wipes left. This time now we're going to use just a general. In fact, this is my last one, so it will have to be. And I'm just going to carefully just wash it off. This is a bleach. And then again, we're going to dry it off. Gotta save it because it's my last one. And then we'll do the other side. The black that you're seeing is my matte. It has paint on it for some reason. I don't know why. Last time, we're going to wipe off this board. Nice and dry. Flip it. Now we're going to do the same thing again with the bleach. Try not to damage my transfer at all. or sorry, stencil. Gosh, I'm stuck on, I better do some chalkature. And now it should be pretty well done. And it will go back onto my wall over in the other room. These walls are all full. And I'm just drying it off now. That's all I'm doing. It's completely clean. I'm just drying off. It doesn't have to be perfect clean. Remember, spackling is sand. And sand doesn't always come off. So I'm just drying this off so it doesn't stick on my wall. Don't take that off. That's my fix-it spot. And it doesn't come perfectly clean. And it never will. Once you use spackling, you'll get a gray there we go. The sand from the spackling turns your transfer into a gray. It doesn't come back nice and blue. Set that there. So, there you go. Trisha Ann, when's the last time you got to drive? You guys had snowfall and snowfall. I'm just using my bleach water to get this, I don't know why it got so dirty. You guys have had snowfall after snowfall. And you have more snow coming. We're supposed to have snow tonight of some sort. They said 2 to 5 inches, whatever that could be. There we go. See, I even have probably that Mod Podge that I used earlier. Sometimes you just have to stop and clean, guys. I guess that's what I did. That's a little better. Bleach and silicone, things come off. Now let's take a look at our item. It's looking super nice. Last Thursday, oh my goodness. Now this does dry fairly fast to touch, but not completely. Now if you wanted to do a fast dry, you could use a hair dryer, but that might change the coloring of your colors that you added. I don't recommend it. But I think it came out super cute. Now tomorrow we'll put on the flowers and anything like, you know, this one's like standing really high up. You might be able to take a little sander and go over it, but really, to be honest, you don't have to do that. You don't. Because once you put your flowers on, they will go in these bare spots, just, you know, randomly around. And we'll fill it all full and be a picture ready to go for spring. Super cute. Well, Trisha Ann, you have a very safe drive tomorrow if you go driving. And don't hit anything. If you do hit something cheap and replaceable, don't hurt yourself. There we go. Super cool. But like I said, this is what we did today. I hope you like it. I know we're early for spring, but it takes time for these to dry and time for me to make it. Now this one's going to sit on the four corners. Just like so for the night, and then tomorrow it will be completely dry. It's dry to touch. I can touch it. It's dry to touch, but it's soft dry. Tomorrow will be crisp dry by having it lifted up. If I had it flat, it would be 2 days. So they didn't plow the side streets yet. Oh, I'll show you. I don't know if this will show on there, but I'll try to show you. My brother sent me a picture of his street. He's up north, my younger brother. Let's see, where is he? I think it was this one. Hold on, so sorry. I hope you can see this. But that's his truck, and that's all he has for availability. Let's see if I can bring that out a little bit. This is their road. The snowbank is as high as the windows of the car, and that's all they done. And he's up in just in Alexandria area, and so one car comes this way and one car comes this way. There's nowhere to go yet, and it's up to the door, the window. So they have a person on each side of the road. When a car comes down, they call the first person on the other end of the road to say someone's coming, you know, for they don't. And their roads aren't just, you know, they're country roads. They're long. So if you get stuck down that road, you can't just keep on going and try to switch, because they have one plow. It goes right through and that's it. So yeah, we understand those problems. Super cool. Well, all right, so now what do? I'd like you to know this water here gets dumped onto my garbage in papers and paper towels that are in my garbage. It does not go down the drain. The brush I let soak in my my mix for cleaning my brushes, and that way I can use it again. But it will sit for like a week. Oops, I just broke my good rubber band. But my case, these are my case. I have my spackling box. I have my spackling here, my chocolateur here, and all the rest of my supplies right here. But take that out for it doesn't. Super fun night, guys. I appreciate you all coming in. We have a tree down and 5 foot of snow on the streets. That's awful. But there's nothing you can do. You can't change what is. You really can't. But I'm glad they're going to be coming down your driveway tomorrow. Super cool. Oh, I was going to show you guys before we go. I did my owls these ones I did a little bit different. This is what he looks like. He has snowflake eyes, and then I traced around his eyes, big eyes. And here it's the partner in crime, and the eyes wiggle. And I added a little greenery on the bottom. And then the other guys, that you saw yesterday, they look like those. Now this one I don't know if I like. I don't like how the blue and the blue made his eyes like that. I like the snowflake eyes. But they're different. And these ones don't have greenery, because I didn't have small. I thought I had 4 greens, and I did not. So anyway, that's how my little owls came out. Now he's super cute. And then this is his back. Just simple. And I gave him a bigger head to go in. And then his wings are in a heart shape still. But anyway, that's my snow owl. Super cute. Well, I am going to go finish cleaning up my water and get my garbage out for tomorrow. Our roads are plowed, but not my brother's. And then Lori Lamoon, she sent me this. This is my only Christmas gift I got this year, guys. She sent me an ornament, Lori did. And I'm going to make a craft out of it. It's both sides. I'm not sure what I'm going to make out of it, but it's going to hang. Maybe I'll make a hot glue disc and put this on the middle of my container like so, but a nicer one than this. That holds my tall ones. But anyway, it was a nice gift. She wrote me a nice little letter and got me a hot glue gun. It's an ornament, guys. I thought it doesn't work. Super cute. And it has hot glue at the tip. Super cute. I love it. And it's almost the same size as my regular hot glue. So thank you, Lori. It's going up in our room here with your name on it. So this is all set to go. Make sure it's not. Oh, and then when you do spackle, guys, if you do try it and you dry it, don't put anything on the canvas part of it underneath. That will have a dent in it tomorrow because the spackling's heavier than paint. So that's all I have for you. I hope you had fun, and we'll see you tomorrow. Drive carefully, stay safe, and if you have to help somebody, be careful, but do the good deed. All right, we'll see you all later. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas, everybody.